The four of them got inside the tower. And then... there was something wrong about the tower. It stood on the outskirts of town, past the rusted railway tracks and the skeletal remains of old buildings. No one knew who built it or why, but it had been there as long as anyone could remember. A black monolith of smooth, cold stone. Too tall, too thin. Its windows were uneven, like gaping holes punched through the walls at random. From a distance, they looked empty, but if you got too close, some swore they saw movement inside. Darren, Olivia, Marcus, and Jen didn't believe in ghost stories. Or at least, that's what they told themselves as they stood at its base on a cold October night. "This place is cursed," Jen muttered, wrapping her arms around herself. "Then why'd you come?" Marcus smirked, kicking a rock at the foundation. "Because someone has to be the voice of reason," she snapped. Darren rolled his eyes. "If you're scared, wait here." "I never said I was scared." "Let's go," Olivia said, already stepping onto the rusted iron staircase that spiraled around the outside. She grinned back at them. "Unless you're all wimps." Darren followed. Then Marcus. Jen hesitated, then sighed and hurried after them. They climbed. The higher they went, the quieter the world below became. The wind howled through the trees, but up there, it felt muffled. The town lights in the distance flickered, almost like they were getting farther away. Halfway up, Darren paused. "Hey, do you guys see that?" They turned. One of the tower's many windows yawned open beside them. Unlike the others, this one wasn't empty. Something was inside. A figure, just beyond the darkness, not moving, just watching. Marcus swallowed hard. "It's probably just a reflection." "Of what?" Olivia whispered. The figure shifted, stepped closer. The light from the moon barely reached inside, but as it moved forward, Darren saw something that made his stomach drop. The figure had no eyes, just deep, hollow sockets. Its skin was stretched too tight, mouth frozen in a grin that looked more like a tear in its face. Its fingers, too long and too thin, curled around the window frame. Then, it tilted its head, like it was curious. Jen grabbed Darren's wrist. "We need to leave." They turned and ran, scrambling up the stairs. The metal groaned beneath them. The next window they passed, there was another one. A second figure, then another. Every window had something inside, and every single one was watching them. The whispering started, soft at first, like wind slipping through cracks in the stone. Then clearer. "You shouldn't have come. Come inside. We see you." The stairs suddenly felt longer. The tower stretched above them, impossibly high. It should have ended by now, but the top was still nowhere in sight. Jen tripped. Olivia grabbed her, pulling her up just as something in the window reached out. Its fingers stopped inches away, just watching. Darren's heart pounded. "We keep moving. Don't stop. Don't look." They ran. The stairs twisted around, leading them past more windows, more faces. Then, a door. At the top of the staircase, a single wooden door stood open, leading into the tower. "Nope," Marcus panted. "No way, not going in there." A whisper right at their backs. "Then stay out here with us." Darren shoved the others inside. The door slammed shut. Inside, everything was wrong. The door was huge, bigger than the tower should have allowed. The walls were lined with windows, but they didn't show the outside. They showed them. Not reflections, not shadows, copies. In each window, Darren saw himself, staring back. But the other him had empty eyes. Olivia's copy grinned too wide. Marcus's fingers twitched like broken puppet strings. Jen started hyperventilating. "This isn't real. This isn't real." A hand touched the glass from the other side. Then the whispering turned to laughter. The windows opened. The copy scrolled through. Darren grabbed Olivia. "Run!" But there was nowhere to go. The last thing he saw before the world went dark was his own hollow-eyed copy, stepping forward with a grin. And then, silence. The next morning, the tower was still there. Jen's parents filed a missing persons report. Marcus's dad put up posters, but the police found nothing. No footprints, no signs of struggle, no records of them ever existing at all. If you walk past the tower at night, you might see shadows in the windows. 4 of them, actually. Watching, waiting, smiling. But the story continues. For weeks, the town searched for Darren, Olivia, Marcus, and Jen. The police combed the outskirts, their flashlights flickering through the trees. Parents made desperate pleas on the news. Posters went up, but the tower remained silent. It stood in the distance, unchanged. And then, one by one, people started forgetting. The missing posters disappeared. Their homes were emptied, their names erased from school records. Their parents stopped asking questions, like they had never existed at all. But the tower remembered. 1 month later, a boy named Rob dared his friends to go see the tower. He had heard the old stories. Kids who climbed it and never came back. But that was just a myth, right? The 4 of them, Rob, Kelly, Ryan, and Sam, approached the tower as the sun dipped below the trees. The air was colder here. The windows gaped like open mouths, black and empty. Rob stepped forward first. Then, he froze. The windows weren't empty. Something moved inside. 4 figures stood just beyond the darkness. A boy, his hollow eyes fixed on Rob. A girl, her grin stretched too wide. Another, fingers twitching unnaturally. And the last, standing completely still, as if waiting. Rob's stomach twisted. He didn't know why, but something about them felt familiar. Then, the whispering began. "Come inside. We see you. We remember." And in the fading light, the 4 figures stepped closer, smiling.